If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post a new Tom Brady video every day.
You think you would have gone 4-0 against Michigan if Brady was there?
I don't know. Would have been fun to see.
Huh?
Would have been fun to see.
I bet he would have kicked your ass.
And I've been trying to tell people this, they think I'm lying. Like, he is the ultimate teammate. Amen. He is the best, genuinely kind-hearted person you will ever meet, run into. I wanted to hate this guy when I got there. I keep telling people that. I'm like, I'm going to get here and I'm going to find out they got some BS going on there. Like, we had something going on here. They just do a better job of hiding it, you know, all that. And I get there, and the first person I meet is Tom. He's like, oh, I'm glad, you know, happy to have you here, and da-da-da. I'm like, yeah, you just feed me that right now because you got to. So, you know, you sit back and you watch somebody move. You know, you watch how they interact with people.
Right.
And I see how he interact with me. I see how he interact with a guy that's on a practice squad. I see how he interact with guys that he's played 8-10 years with. And he treats everybody the same.
He's
and
consistent.
No question. He's very consistent. That's why guys love him.
That's why he's Tom Brady.
No question.
And do you consider him the best?
Best quarterback, no question. I will not give him athlete. I will not give him athlete.
I love Tom. Tom's one of my good friends. And example on Tom, we're getting ready to play the AFC Championship against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they ain't stand a chance because of this night. The night, we were having night meetings because we played at night, and all the coaches leave and Tom stands up in front of the team. And in that moment, he said a compliment for every single guy on the team that meant something from that guy actually as a person and a player, from scout team to Gronk. He knew every single player, what they have been doing, how they're developing, what they're getting better at. And I'm in there like, I've never seen anything like this. Like, it was no great rah-rah any given Sunday speech, Al Pacino, anything like that. It was like.
But it meant something to everyone.
Every single player was different.
The depth for which he knew the team, it was like Belichick, who happened to be your quarterback.
Yes, and then he's just a fun guy to be around. Like, he's not a guy where he's sponsored by Tom Ford and Aston Martin. Most guys like that, you feel like you can't hang out with, right? Yeah. But Tom is a great guy. He's the type of guy you want to have a beer. He might not drink beer, but if you want to have I don't drink beer either, but he's a guy you want to have a cup of coffee. He probably drinks avocado coffee. But
you took one sentence and ripped the hell out of the guy.
When did you realize that Tom Brady was pretty special for the first time? When do you recall that, Charlie?
Well, we had an inkling that he had a chance his first year, but he wasn't playing at all his first year. As a matter of fact, he was our fourth quarterback, and I think he threw 3 passes all year. And he got in one game, he had one completion for about 6 yards, and that was about it. But the next year in training camp, he was fighting for number 2 with Damon Eward, who we had picked up from Miami, and he beat him out by a hair. It wasn't like Tommy was clearly the second best guy, but he beat him out just by little bits to back up Drew. Drew goes down, Tommy goes in. We kind of take baby steps as we go through the year, and then about midway through the year, there was like a turning point where we really thought we had something special because we were playing New Orleans. We were down by 10 or 11 in the fourth quarter. We came back and scored twice, to tie it up. We got it to overtime. And on our first offensive play in overtime, New Orleans brought a blitz that we had practiced against multiple times in a week, but we hadn't seen once in a game. And the kid checks off, he audibles, throws a ball 55 yards down the field, defensive pass interference. We end up kicking, Vinatieri kicked the field goal. We win the game. But the fact that mentally that a kid with that little experience could make a call like that, we figured we might have something special.
And then, of course, later on in the campaign, you're in the Superdome in New Orleans. Vinatieri does kick a game winner for the Super Bowl in a drive that was very famous for many reasons, including for those watching at home in the last Summerall Madden Super Bowl that they called together. Madden's like, they should take a knee here and go to overtime because this kid, it's his first rodeo, essentially, is what he's saying. Did you and Belichick have any sense of potentially taking your foot off the brake in that Super Bowl as you were dialing up the plays there?
The only ones involved there, to be honest with you, were Belichick and I and Tommy and Drew. So the four of us sat on the sideline. We all knew that St. Louis had taken over the momentum and tied the game with 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. So we figured we should at least give it a shot. We started off conservatively. Of course, Drew was saying, just go out there and sling it, like any veteran quarterback would say. But we went out conservative at first, but then after we threw a little flare pass to the left to J.R. Redmond, and he got out of bounds at about the 45-yard line, we got more aggressive to try to get down there and get in the field goal range.
I don't know any athlete who's more competitive than Tom Brady. I mean, so maybe there's maybe there's one or two that are on the same plane, and maybe Michael's one of them, and maybe Tiger Woods is another one. But there's nobody more competitive than Brady, for sure. I think he's demonstrated that it's not just 20 years. He's demonstrated that really since high school, the way he fought his way to become something that he wasn't, or at least that people didn't think he was. And then I think what's interesting, the pairing with Belichick, Belichick is the term workaholic is an overused phrase in society and in sports. But you're talking about two guys now in Belichick and Brady who live at the stadium. They live at the stadium. And that kind of fire, they'll win a Super Bowl, and the next morning, instead of celebrating, they're talking about what they have to do to get back here in 364 days. And that mentality never wavered for them.
Make no mistake, Rodney Harrison is not here to feel loved.
I came with a laser focus and so much anger. The main guy he attacked and he was on was Tom Brady.
Rodney and Tom going back and forth verbally. Just never seen Tom get rattled that bad, not even in games.
I have seen all 52 Super Bowls. I've seen every last one of them. I'm 62 years old. I know you can't tell. I know you looking here going, boy, the swag on you dripping so cold. I've seen all the Super Bowls. I watched everybody. All of us are in here tonight because of one person, Tom Brady. If Tom Brady wasn't living, y'all could be in the Super Bowl. The only way I see us getting in the Super Bowl, and I don't know why you ain't thought of it, all this money in this room, y'all ain't thought of pooling y'all money together, having him killed? That tighten y'all up a little bit? You ain't thought about it? Hell, I have. I'm tired of Tom Brady in the Super Bowl every damn year. If he wasn't here, we could be in the Super Bowl.
Before that, long before that, we were playing golf, and we were on our way to Candlestick Park at that time to go see the Giants. We stopped to play golf up up in South San Francisco where I play, and he had a horrible temper, and we would start playing, and we would bet, and I'd bet him $1 against a car wash or $5, and we would double or nothing. And we got to the 8th hole, and he owed me like 55 car washes. Yeah, he did. And he finally, he just keep double or nothing, and so he fired his club much farther than the golf ball went, and so I sent him to the car. And he came back, and I finished playing and went to the car. We went to Candlestick Park, and he was crying and stuff. And At the end of it, he says, "Let's go back and play some more." So it was just what you're saying. Competitors are competitors, you know?
You see someone like Gronk, then you see Brady. I mean, does he have a sense of humor? Has he ever played a practical joke on you? Like, does he, can you really full on laugh with him? Because you know how prepared he is, but could he like loosen up and unbutton a little bit?
He is loosen up and unbutton. He's just a fierce competitor, right? When he's on the field, he's competing, but in the huddle, he's one of the best guys to be in the huddle with because he had fun, but his idea of fun is like kicking your ass. Like, that's his fun. Like, that's how, like, we go out there and dominate, and he loves to dominate, and that's fun.
I mean, one thing that I never knew for years was a remote control going through the wall. When he lost at something, and my wife hung a picture over it, and I never knew until he had gone away to college, and she said it's time to remove the picture, that there was a wall in there because he had lost it at a competition. So he's, you know, it's just, that's it. But all in all, he didn't give us a lot of trouble.
He played at Augusta.
He's at Augusta
today
with Spieth.
and yesterday with Spieth. He said he shot 77 yesterday. It was pretty good.
Wow.
The last time I played with him was a couple years ago. We played up at Boston Golf Club, and he almost broke a club that day. It was fun for me to watch that. I really enjoyed watching him be really frustrated and mad on the golf course. But
what is that like? Is it awkward?
Oh, I was dying. I was killing. Oh, no. No, because we go back. He's Tommy to me. We go back to college. So I'm just busting his chops. I'm laughing. I think it's hilarious. I'm pushing every button I can think of to push. He though, we played a couple years before that, and he beat me head up, and I pressed him on 18, and he hit it to about an inch. It was a par 3. Almost hit a hole in one. And he loved it. He could not wait for me to have to pay up. I'm like, dude, you make like 15 times, 20 times more than I make, but he couldn't wait for me to have to pay up.
On the Brady side of the ledger, I think it's building a personal relationship. This relationship that he has with Tom Brady has become familial. In other words, it's like a father and a son, and it's genuine. It's not fabricated. It's real, and it's been built over a 20-year span. And so these are two guys who actually use the four-letter word LOVE with each other all the time. They love each other as if he is another father figure or if he is another son in the family. That relationship is what helped keep Tom Brady in New England for so much longer than he probably would have been without that relationship.
I think of him, that skinny young man coming down the steps of the old stadium with the pizza box and introducing himself to me and telling me he's the greatest decision this organization has ever made. And of course, he was 4th on the depth chart. But I think he sure was right. Definitely the greatest player of all time, not just quarterback, in my opinion, because he's such a leader in the locker room.
I think he looks at himself as a 6th-round draft choice, and he's always looked at himself as that. That's why he prepares. That's why he never takes anything for granted. That's why he works his butt off. And I tell you, every time I would go in there at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, he's one of the first guys in that weight room.
And I was just hanging out in the kitchen, and I was on my computer.
That someone breaks into your house.
And I see the doorknob turning, and I was like, I remember sitting there, I just like froze. I was like, oh my God, man, somebody's coming to my house.
It's even weirder when that intruder is Tom Brady.
I see this guy walk in, and he's like a good-looking guy, and I do this on purpose because this is exactly what happened. He walks in, good-looking guy, baseball hat, and he's got like 2 duffel bags. And he just kind of like, he doesn't even say hi first. He just kind of goes like this, and he sets them down, and he just like looks up at me, and he's like, what's up, man?
This was back in April before the season started. Brady thought he was walking into offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich's house, which was actually next door.
He goes, I'm supposed to be at Byron's house. And like right then, my entire body like froze. Like I'll never forget it. I was like, my body wanted to be like, Tom Brady. No, like, you know, I was like freaking out. And, but my body literally, I could not gasp the air to say his name. I'll never forget it. And then he just goes, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. And he just like grabs his bag and he's just gone like lightning.
Ernie, of course, you know, the tournament had to be in Florida. You know, after Tom's B&E arrest, you know, with the ankle monitor, he couldn't leave the state. So it had to be in Florida. Tiger and I talked to the sheriff in Tampa. He's going to be allowed to go to Palm Beach to play.
That's it for this video. I post a new Tom Brady video every day, so please like and subscribe. That way you'll always have a new Tom Brady video to watch every single day.